we're talking about the concept of chasing your dreams. Like, bro, how many days are we like, how I am barely getting through this day. Like, I can't wait for this day to end, this, that, and everything else.
Looking at you yesterday.
Literally. But then once we're through, we kind of forget about those days. We kind of forget about these struggles. Like, after you've been through struggle, a certain amount of time passes and your body almost gives off its own reset.
Mm.
Where it's just like, you're going to forget how hard it was. How many people reach success and then they forget how hard it was, days where they had to skip meals, or days where they was alone and didn't talk to anybody because they was working on projects for hours or days on end or whatever else. Like, when I'm feeling down and just in the absolute dumps about like my mentality or just life or whatever else, it's easy to feel alone in that. Because it's just like, oh, cool, like all of these people have got to their good place. That's just their good place. But you don't see all of the hardships in between, because either they forget about them or they don't want to relive them or whatever else.
What my own father said to me the other day, it's like, you're being your own person, that's really hard to do in this world. So keep doing it. That's all I've ever tried to be, man. I ain't trying to be no one else.
That's the best thing you can be.
I'm me. Like, you're gonna get what you get with me, and it's not gonna deviate. Like, I will say dumb things on camera. I will say dumb things that sometimes are like little inside jokes with like my missus or with you or someone like that, to see if people pick up on them, because I just think that's funny. But I don't get those moments every day, because every day is get moving. Like, yesterday was a long day, man. You know that, man. We were messaging each other. I couldn't be bothered yesterday, man. I was just full of rage and pent up anger about how the world is and all sorts of things. The minute I started driving home, I started to lift again. I was like, it's done, man. Was I thinking about what I went through? No. I was thinking about, man, I can't wait to chill. I woke up this morning, I feel really good. Did I acknowledge why I feel good? No. You know, people in my little network are putting out videos, and I'm like, I like your stuff and I like it. How can I add my funny spin to that to help bring us both up at the same time? It's something as silly as someone just hitting a driver and making a video going, oh, it's like ASMR. It's a great video and I love that. Like, well done you, man. But I can't hit my driver right now and I feel left out. So I'm going to sip my can of drink and make ASMR out of it. And if you don't try it, how are you ever going to know?
So there's a lot that you kind of touched on there, and I want to try and pick up.
I touched on everything because I'm fat.
And handsy.
I touch on every part of the shirt. You know what I mean? And hands.
Hey, Sam, bro.
Wagwan.
How is he?
Well, feeling good, bro. Feeling good, man. I knew that I wouldn't.
Do you want to start this bad boy with a hypothetical, or did you know?
Let me lay down. Did you know?
Go.
Did you know that sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins?
What?
I know.
I learned two things there. One, dolphins won't hold their breath.
Well, they swim, bro.
Well, obviously, but
dolphins don't breathe underwater.
Yeah, but I guess from the outset, you just assume that they do. Obviously, I know they've got blowholes.
I would assume they don't. That's why they surface, bro.
Yeah.
Same with whales.
I get that. But I'm talking as like a glancing thought. You just think, oh yeah, it's a fish, but it's not. It's a mammal.
So they're mammals.
Oh, the fact don't go that deep, huh?
I don't care about going that deep, bro.
You should.
No, I shouldn't.
You really should.
I shouldn't. But yeah, they can slow their heart rates down. They slow their heart rate down massively, so they can like hold their breath for like 40 minutes. But dolphins have to surface like every 15 or so.
Supposedly sloths can swim really fast, which is really unsettling to see a sloth move fast.
I mean, it's going to be controversial. Some people, I think sloths are well ugly as well, though.
I mean, yeah.
People think, oh look, it's a sloth, bro. Look at the claws on that thing, man.
Yeah, but that's like what's its freaking name? The dog, the Deadpool dog. It just looks like an absolute abomination. But there are some. It's got its tongue hanging out its face and everything. Kind of like my mum's dog that she used to have. That I used to call Eagle. But there'll always be that group of people. Yeah, it's like, oh look at it, it's so cute. Look at the tongue. Oh, yeah. It's just some people. What is that? Okay, fair enough. You learn two new things every day, I guess.
There's also a basketball court in the Supreme Court.
Hey?
Yeah, the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
Can you ask for that to be like the determining factor of your case?
I don't believe so, but it's on the top floor and it is also known as the highest court in the land.
You want a hypothetical?
I guess I ain't got no choice, really, mate.
I think you'll like this one. I don't know how much I will, but I think you'll like it again.
Oh,
I try to keep you in mind when I think of these.
that's a bad place to be.
I know. So if you could make one non-contact sport full contact, what would it be?
Ooh.
Mm.
I mean, golf would be fun off the outset, bro.
Yeah.
Just clubbing people.
But then I thought about kamikaze cycling. Would just be so fun to watch.
In a weird way, cycling isn't far off being in contact with how close they get. You ever seen wipeouts in cycling?
They're vicious.
Nasty. And remember, they're clipped in as well, so you can't just bail off your bike. Like, you're going with that bike. You get
to be fair, being clipped in is probably better because my mind was going like, if your foot comes off that pedal and then that wheel spins round, your bones are getting folded and your bones are not meant to fold.
True, but I guess if you feel like you're kind of moving, there's a chance you could potentially jump off and just kind of yeet. Kind of like they would do like motorbike racing, where they feel like it's going, they just kind of go, yeet.
Bro, those bikes are like ridiculously light as well.
That's ridiculously expensive.
Oh, 100%. Mad. But like you lift them with a pinky finger. So like the amount you're literally flying through the air on nothing, basically.
I'm trying to think of like team-based sports here, because that will obviously be why I do it, be more contact. I imagine like figure skating and the Olympics being contact, bro. Like just full.
Ain't that just hockey?
No, figure skating is more like laps and stuff, isn't it?
I know that figure skating.
Yeah, but my point is, like, there's meant to be like a really pretty sport where it's like very elegant movement and stuff. But then imagine as they go around the corners, it's just throwing elbows at people.
Something just like overly posh, like polo, just full contact polo.
That is contact.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, there is elements of contact. I used to train someone who played polo, bro. They fall off and everything. They get mashed.
No, I'm talking about like 2 foot booting somebody else off their horse or things like that.
I don't know loads about it. I'm pretty sure there is some contact because you obviously get really close up and stuff like that. So I think there probably will be little bits. But imagine horse racing being contact, though. Like, just in general, right? Like, they're all close.
Bring back jousting.
Bro, imagine how close they would be, yeah? Like, they're all, like, riding off, yeah? And the guy is about to go away and it's just like, nah. Just yeets him off his horse.
But, bro, could you
no one would be safe, bro.
Could you imagine Olympic-level jousting?
I'm here for it.
That would be...
Oh, do you know
that would be an Olympics, actually.
You know what I have discovered recently? I think it's called Boha. But there's a guy I trained, his son does it, right? They literally dress up in medieval armor, like full metal suits, and wrestle each other with weapons.
Oh, I've seen videos of that.
Mad. It is mad. Like, bro, I'm seeing people doing like 3-4 hit combos, like they're in Street Fighter, with like full on pole arms that are like nearly 10 feet tall. And they're coming down on man's shoulder and then doing like 360s across their face and then crashing down on them. And I'm like, yo, the strength that will take is mad.
To be fair, yes. But it does set up the thing of like, bro, think about like, what is it called? Banger racing and things like that. Like, because straight away I was thinking, like, that sounds fun, but also it's probably going to be quite expensive to get a suit of armor and things like that. But then any sport you get in, I suppose we spoke about this before, especially in terms of like, even with like golf and things like that, there's areas where you can get in like affordable levels and then there's ridiculous levels that you can get in at. Do you know what I mean?
There is. But I also think there's something I'm going to start doing my chance soon is there's the economical way in. But there also comes a point where it's going to cost. There is just that point. Like, I think there's a degree of inevitability in it. But I think it massively depends on where you want to go with it. You know what I mean? I think like football, whatever. If you're going to play with your mates every so often, do you need to go spend 150 quid on a pair of boots? Probably not. But if you were playing like Sunday League, which is obviously with your mates, but it's now I've got a regular thing, chances are you're going to probably invest a bit more because you're going to get a return on that usability. You know what I mean?
Bro, they should make football full contact just so they can actually freaking have an excuse for all the freaking fouls that they
Football basically is full contact.
Yeah, but when I say full contact, I mean violent full contact.
I mean, bro, last week before, I'll show you after the pop, bro. The way one of the goalkeepers fly kicked someone in the face.
Oh, swear?
He just missed his face, bro. But he's been banned for like 5 games, I think.
Oh, damn.
Because he had no right. Like his dude's like 6 foot plus, and goalkeeper's foot is on guy's shoulder.
Where was the ball? Bottom left.
I think it was kind of just coming towards like below dude's chest, basically, because he was obviously challenging for it in the air, which is typically when you would use your head. But this keeper went, nah, I'm gonna put him right off of it. Just nearly clean dude's clock, man. But yeah, people dressing up in metal armor is responsible for my favorite video at the moment that's going on the internet, which is these two dudes. I'm guessing it's like a medieval Renaissance thing. But dude just walks out of nowhere and goes, "How's the grass taste, little man?" And then just shield punches into the floor.
Oh, damn.
He's so joked. It's just the way he says it with absolute chest, and you're like, "Oh, where's this gonna go?" And my guy just goes, "Ah." And the guy just goes in a full suit of armor as well. Bro, the brazenness to shout something before you execute an action is another level of arrogance. My man said, not only did he say, "How's the grass taste?" He said, "Little man." And then he his shield, bro. Like, it's a violation. The noise it makes as well is class. He said, "Womp, womp."
Oh, my. Yeah. Well, what we saying for the full contact sport? What are we making?
Oh man, there's quite a few choices though. But I mean,
Just
quite a lot.
actually get an answer before.
But quite a lot of sports have some contact anyway. Beach volleyball, bro. I imagine shenanigans are trying to fight men on the beach. Imagine bowling.
Synchronized diving.
We're just throwing haymakers like the best punch in the air wins. Just seeing them do 360s with leg kicks.
Pretty much.
Imagine the wrestler, you get knocked out in midair and no one knows. It's like, well, that pool's deep, homie.
There is.
That's mad. That's sadistic as well.
Yeah. I do.
Gymnastics, figure skating. That's not gonna be funny.
Literally, when
Ballroom dancing with Mai Tai.
Oh, that's sweet. It's like you've got what is it, like chess boxing?
That's like just legit. Yeah.
So now imagine some freaking like Connect Four freaking Brazilian Jiu Jitsu or something like. Just two unnecessary things. Just like hook them up, but why not? I don't know.
I think horse racing would be my top right now. I can think of. Considering we're coming into Cheltenham Festival today, which is one of the biggest festivals of horse racing, I think it would just be jokes seeing little jockeys haymaking each other on their horses. They're all like 3 foot anyways. Just to like seeing imagine all the punters just seeing their horse going off in the lead, be like, "Yeah, I've got." So all of a sudden, maybe just like yeets him off his horse and now they're out the race. Mad.
From strictly a calamity perspective, I've got to stick with cycling because I just think like I'm just imagining like Tour de France full contact.
It'd be funny.
Exactly, like
any kind of sport where like you have the right to challenge someone to a duel would be banging. Like in motor racing. Like in F1, like if someone clips someone and they end up going out the race, then that guy has the right to fight that guy after the race, bro.
What about just making certain sports just unnecessarily complicated? So, like, 100%. I've got this specific one in mind, but I can't think of the actual fucking name of it. What's the one with the swords?
Fencing.
That's the one. Fencing on trampolines. It would just be so unnecessarily awkward.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Nah, in one of the sky tunnels.
Oh, bro, I would love to go in one of them.
That would be funny. Man, try to just get someone one of those, man. You wouldn't have a chance.
See, this is the thing. There's so many weird and wonderful things you can do in this world, like those sky tunnels and, like, bro, even doing something like 10-pin bowling, but in one of those swords. Yeah.
That's one thing I would love to do when I get to a point in life where I can just kind of do things. I would love to just get a group of people and just go somewhere where there's some hills and just be like, all right, face off.
Do you reckon it would work if you built one of those, what are those Tic Tac thingy? That's the one. If you built one of those with Zorbs, but people in Zorbs, do you reckon it would work?
Yeah. Bro, I'd have some dumb ideas like Find a nice valley.
Sponsor us to find out if that will genuinely work.
2 big hills, right? And then just get people rolling at each other and see who goes first.
No, I want to see
like a demolition derby, but in Zorb. That would be
Zorbs. Reach out to us. We got some ideas.
Zorb jousting, basically.
Zorb conquers.
There's so many funny things you could do.
How high could you fall from in a Zorb?
You ever seen those videos where people like literally just get cars thrown into them with it? They just go flying.
Oh man.
Bro, do you know like a proper sports car when they're like really low as well and you just get scooped up? This is why I'm not making it past 65.
This is why men don't live.
I'm going to make it by the time I'm 40, and then there's going to be just 15 years of chaos, and then I'm just going to be like, that's it later.
Yeah, bro, if I had disposable income, I would not have made it to 30. Like, no way.
I'd be mashed up.
And
it's one of those things where everyone would be like, oh, you'd probably do like a lot of drugs and stuff. No. I'd just be doing the most stupidest things to see if it would work. And one of them would come backfire on me. You know what I mean? Like, how high can you fall in the Zorb before you break a leg? Well, the answer is this, because I've done it. Like, you know what I mean? Just get a slingshot one of them out into the ocean.
Bro, there is so much mayhem we could cause.
And it would all end badly when we just do an actual demolition derby and old baggers in someone's garden, and that's when it would end bad.
See, and this is the thing, like, I always have the most fun when I'm doing something I shouldn't be. So that's either like destroying something, doing something a bit cheeky.
Building something you shouldn't, destroying something you shouldn't.
Yeah. Bro, talking about building something you shouldn't. I want to build a potato launcher. Bro, have you heard one of those things go off?
You know, it's like full-on competitions for those things, right? In America. I'm pretty sure it is. They like
only in America.
Yeah. They're proper, like, they build some kind of
Yeah, bro, they have competitions for everything.
No, but those things are just like engineering masterpieces, man. They just go off.
I mean,
off.
Did you not study engineering?
Briefly, and I realized I didn't want to anymore.
But could we not jerry-rig our own version?
It would be nothing to do with my engineering. I guess I'll screw that with me.
Damn it.
That would be logic and common sense and just hoping for the best.
So just hoping for the best then, because logic and common sense never shows up here.
That's what life's about, isn't it?
We are literally like the human version of putting your tongue on a battery. Just figuring it out by doing.
Some of them are tasty.
And on that rather sour tone...
More acidic, right?
Let's go get into this episode. What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Perspective Chasers podcast. I'm your host, John.
And I'm Chewbacca.
Definitely. And on this episode, we're talking about the concept of chasing your dreams. Because I don't think it's something that is portrayed that honestly in a lot of kind of society or in a lot of like stories. Like, whether it be intentional or unintentional, like kind of like we touched on last episode when you was kind of saying about the hard work and this, that, and everything else, where like you felt like you've just kind of got all of this progress all of a sudden out of nowhere. You kind of lose sight of all of the hard work that you put in to get in there and that. Like, for how many days are we like, I am barely getting through this day. Like, I can't wait for this day to end, this, that, and everything else.
Looking at you yesterday.
Literally. But then once we're through it, we kind of forget about those days. We kind of forget about these struggles. Like, and it's an interesting thought. Like, I come across something the other day that was basically saying that women, after they have children, their body releases a chemical that makes them kind of forget exactly how traumatic it was or how much pain that they was in. And I think everybody has that kind of vein in them where it's just like, after you've been through struggle, a certain amount of time passes and your body almost gives off its own reset. Where it's just like, you're going to forget how hard it was. So like, how many people reach success and then they forget how hard it was, days where they had to skip meals or days where they was alone and didn't talk to anybody because they was working on projects for hours or days on end or whatever else. Like, so many aspects of this kind of part of the journey, I think, kind of get forgotten about. So then when you go through them yourself, they kind of feel out of place, or at least I felt like that at times. Like when I'm feeling down and just in the absolute dumps about like my mentality or just life or whatever else, it's easy to feel alone in that because it's just like, oh, cool. Like all of these people have got to their good place. That's just their good place. But you don't see all of the hardships in between because either they forget about them or they don't want to relive them or whatever else. So I think it's just a whole part of that vein of chasing your progress and trying to better yourself that you don't really get to talk about or get to hear about. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I mean, I guess it's a weird one. I'm just sitting here kind of thinking about that myself, and like, I think most of this journey, most people's journeys, you do reference the negative points a lot, but you don't really you don't really reference the positive points that much. And most of the time, we will talk about how hard things are, like how stressful things are, how we're balancing everything, trying not to drop any of the plays, and trying to keep on top of things, and making sure that we're putting our content out when we're meant to put it out, making sure we're not dropping the ball elsewhere in life. But how often do we actually sit here, especially on camera, and actually talk about how there's actually a fun side to things as well? Like, I think it might be a point of being in that environment for so long that you kind of start sadistically enjoying that. Like, when you actually get everything done and you sit there at the end of your day and you go, got it done now. How many times we message each other saying, I've done this, 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 and this. And it's just us actually referencing that we've done it. But the other person just goes, don't leave me hanging, bro. You know what I want that? Like, how often are people actually doing that when they're actually trying to chase a dream?
A lot. And this is why I think, like, I suppose
The
with
negative is important, but the positive is too.
Oh, 100%. But I think, see, this is the interesting thing because, like, what I'm saying is looking back, it's easy to forget about all of the kind of negatives and your hardships. But what you're saying is in the moment, it's easy to forget about the positives and just focus on the negatives.
100%. Like, that is bang on. If I look back over the last year, I would really struggle to pinpoint where the positives were. It hasn't been a negative journey, but I would struggle to go, oh, that day was amazing, so I've done that. Or this one was amazing, so I've done that. The last year, I would look at a lot of long days, grinding, missing opportunities, missing my windows, not uploading consistently, not being able to get there. So then I kind of forget where actually there's been a whole bunch of progress along that sort of 6 to 12 months that has got me to now.
Yeah.
But the reason why in the moment I'm like, oh, things are trending right is because everything is moving faster than it had been. So the growth at the moment is a lot more exponential than it has been. If that makes sense. But in a short window. If you compare that to the last 12 months, it's not. It's probably on trend. It's probably the culmination of those 12 months coming in and going, cool, we've got here, now we're moving up to here. But all my brain seems to recognize at the moment is that little section there where it goes, whoop.
Yeah.
It's not acknowledging that before that it was down here on the floor. And over 12 months, I've slowly clawed it to get to this point to allow it to then elevate to another one. You know what I mean?
That's a positive right there that you can see the progress in that. But it's like, I think there's just a level of disconnect that we have, like you say, like in the moment you feel like you're having that grind and this, that, and everything else. And some days it genuinely feels like you've got more on your plate than you can actually handle. But then you get through that day and then you realize I don't even think you realize that you can handle it. I think a lot of it just kind of gets forgotten about in that sense. And that's what I'm saying. Like, bro, there are days that have been absolute grinds where I'm running here, there, and everywhere, either trying to get the pod done, get editing done, get the school run done, get John stuff done, or whatever else. And after the whole day's done, you feel absolutely run ragged and you don't know how you got through it. The next day when you wake up, you're thinking about everything you've got to do then. You're not thinking about what you have done. Oh, how hard was yesterday? Like, how many people have time to think about that? So now, by the time you get to the point where you've got to successful or whatever else, you don't have that time to think about yesterday or last week or whatever. Like, even sitting down doing this pod, it taught me that massive thing about just sitting down and thinking about life. Like, people rarely bloody do it. And it is so important to do.
It's kind of one of my favorite things, actually, normally when I go and do a little bit of traveling or whatever. Like, I always appreciate a landscape.
Oh, that's why I like a long drive.
I always appreciate a landscape. And if I'm at a really nice landscape, you will most likely find me just standing there and not really saying anything. And that's
Mm,
because I'm just having a think. And I'm actually just appreciating that I'm there.
mm,
And when I see a landscape, I kind of see everything that come before that moment to get me to that moment. So I get very reminiscent when I see like a really like if you see like a really nice sunset or something or a sunrise even,
mm.
it hits me on a spiritual way because it just kind of brings out those feelings in me of man, I've survived 31 years. That's cool, man. And everything I've done has got me to this sunset.
Mm.
So what have I done to get to this sunset? Well, I've done so many damn things, man. I've earned my way to. But there's a couple of times I've seen the Northern Lights, for example. Very blessed to have done that, but both times it hit me very similarly in the sense that my head immediately went, I worked my ass off to get here, man. So I'm gonna enjoy watching because I've earned this.
Mm.
Like I've done so much to get to this moment, to be able to afford to do this, to have the time to do this, to take that moment and actually see something that not everyone gets to see. So I'm blessed. But I don't get those moments every day because every day it's get moving. Like yesterday was a long day, man. You know that, man. We were messaging each other. I couldn't be bothered yesterday, man. I was just full of rage and pent up anger about how the world is and all sorts of things.
Mm.
The minute I started driving home, I started to lift again. I was like, it's done, man. Was I thinking about what I went through? No. I was thinking about, man, I can't wait to chill. I woke up this morning, I feel really good. Did I acknowledge why I feel good? No. It's largely in part for the fact that I know that today I get to come and do this and I get to go and hit some golf balls and there are things that I really enjoy doing.
Mm.
But did I actually take a second to sit there and think, how much stuff did you have to get over yesterday, man? And like, you should take a second to be proud of yourself. No. I was too busy. Busy with what, bro? You're waking up. Yeah, but like, I'm waking up, I'm making sure that certain people are okay, I'm checking certain things, I'm getting myself ready, I'm doing this, then I'm driving to get here, and I'm not really caring about anything except the tunes I'm listening to whilst driving. So you don't actually take the time when there's plenty of opportunity in there.
Mm.
There's massive windows in there. I wasn't exactly early today. I woke up earlier than I have in a long time on the on a pod day. I still came in at the same time though because I just went, I'm just gonna chill and do everything, but not actually take that time to think. God, yes, it was a slog, man, but we done it.
Bro, it kind of ties into this kind of thought that I've been having lately about our urge to kind of escape the silence.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, whether it be just sit down and like, God's sake, how many of us are guilty of not going to the toilet without our phone?
I've done it a couple of times recently. I'm not gonna lie, it does improve the efficiency of time quite
Not
drastically.
only does it improve the efficiency of
And blood
time,
flow.
but at the same time, you're there for a purpose in it. So, like, bro, how many times have I know I'm personally guilty of this? Like, I'm there, I'm so focused on what I'm doing on my phone, I forgot that I've actually come to the toilet to do something. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, oh yeah, damn, like,
You're halfway through a cleanup, but then you start looking at something and you forget you're halfway through a cleanup. So now you think, oh, I've got a full cleanup or no cleanup, and one of those is really bad for the
oh,
business.
sweet
It's
Jesus.
bad for the brand.
Bro, I was literally just popped into my head back in security days where you take a fake toilet break just to sit down because your feet hurt that
Dude.
much.
Yeah, man.
Like, to kind of rein it all back in again, like, there are days in which you do not feel like you're going to get through, especially if you're pursuing your dreams and you're trying to do something yourself. Like, for a lot of us, it's going to be uncharted territory. You're going to find out for yourself what your dream looks like in the world. And that's not always going to be easy. Sometimes the world and your dream ain't going to line up, and you need to either jerry rig your dream or the world. Or like the same concept with people being born out of their time. Sometimes your ideas are out of their time and they need time to grow into the world. Like even the concept of electric cars. I mean, that you could get into loads of different kind of political stuff about like, oh, this person tried to suppress it because of this and that and everything else. But it tried to emerge in the world once before, same with e-cigarettes and all of that, and it got shut down. It weren't the time and place for that. And now all of a sudden, 40, 50, 60 years later, they all start to re-emerge again. And the question's posed again, like, time now? Is this the time now? And you kind of have to do that with your dreams. Like, it's not, every day is not the time to go watch the Northern Lights and enjoy your victories because not every day is a victory. Some days you lose the battle. Some days you're going to be absolutely beaten up and you're going to be ill. You're going to be stressed out, distracted. You're going to have to wait in for engineers or whatever else life throws at you. but then you get back on that horse and you fight another day.
Mm.
Like, and I think, I hope that's the kind of core message of this episode, is that as long as you kind of keep pushing forward, that dream will come through. Not every day is going to be good. Not every day you're going to feel that you're pursuing your empire. Some days it's just going to be like, damn, I am just showing up, and it's going to feel as rudimental as working for somebody else or doing some other thing or whatever else. And you're going to question your purpose, your place, and everything in between. But then you'll wake up the next day and you'll be like, damn, I'm glad I still showed up for me. Because all of those thoughts, the good, the bad, it's all temporary. Every single moment you have is temporary. You're constantly shifting through life. So getting overwhelmed by any one situation or event in life ain't gonna do you no favors. If you're trying to pursue your dreams, if you're trying to get after something, what's gonna get you there with more certainty than constantly showing up for yourself?
I think that's fair. I think that's well said.
Like, I know that was a bit of a kind of rant there, but
It's well played, right?
that's the thing. Like, I just think there's so much sold about dreams. Like we was kind of talking about the other day, to bring people kind of behind the curtain into our world, when we were talking about like shorts and kind of getting the kind of traction on videos and everything else. There's so much that is told to people that is just not true, or again, not true for everybody. So like when you were saying about the posting, or not even when you were saying, in general, you can find multiple shorts of people saying post 3 shorts a day for 30 days and your channel will see success. I've been there, done that, didn't get the success. And it's not to say that method won't work for everybody, because it didn't work for me. But if it's sold to people as a one size fits all, and it doesn't, to me, that's doing people a disservice, because there's so many people that are desperate in this world, that want their life to change, that want to make social media or just their own business work. And other people are making profit or making progress off of misleading others.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the only thing I can kind of preach to the kind of wholeheartedness of my person is find out for your damn self. No matter what vein of life it's in, find out for yourself.
Mm.
Because who else is going to steer you more right than that? You're going to make some mistakes, no?
Yeah, but also a lot of learning is by doing.
Exactly.
Do nothing, you're going to learn nothing.
And I think that's the kind of, that willingness to make the mistakes is a massive life skill.
100%, man. Like, even on this, like, content journey, man, like, I haven't made it anywhere near the levels I want to, but even now, in the year or so that I've been doing it, I look back at when I first started and think, ooh, that don't look as good as it does now.
Mm.
You learn a lot of lessons as you go along, man. You learn how to edit. You learn what kind of timings work well in your video. You learn how to be more comfortable in front of a camera. Like, when I used to go to the range, I used to think from a content point of view, oh, this is so rubbish. Like, what is it? I'm just hitting a bunch of golf balls. Yay. Like, it's not as pretty as a golf course. It's not as dynamic. I was so wrong.
Mm.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but I'm the entertainment factor because I'm stupid. So when I'm mic'd up, I do all sorts of dumb stuff. I sing along on the range when the music's on. I say dumb stuff when I swing. I make silly noises or comments, and it's all funny things that people tune in for. Because it's part of the process. There is, okay, actually, this guy's going to start getting better, so I'm going to watch his swing and watch how he's hitting. But also, I wonder what dumbness he's going to say today.
Mm.
Like, I'm going to tune in for that because I enjoy this dude just being this dude. Because that's what I'm trying to be, right? I'm literally just trying to be my own person. What my own father said to me the other day. It's like, you're being your own person. That's really hard to do in this world. So keep doing it. That's all I've ever tried to be, man. I ain't trying to be no one else.
That's the best thing you can be.
I'm me. Like, you're going to get what you get with me, and it's not going to deviate.
Mm.
Like, I will say dumb things on camera. I will say dumb things that sometimes are like little inside jokes with like my missus or with you or someone else to see if people pick up on them, because I just think that's funny. You know what I mean? Like, but look at the stuff I put out today. You know, people in my little network are putting out videos, and I'm like, I like your stuff and I like it. How can I add my funny spin to that to help bring us both up at the same time?
Mm.
Something as silly as someone just hitting a driver and making a video going, I was like, ASMR. It's a great video and I love that. Like, well done you, man. But I can't hit my driver right now and I feel left out. So I'm going to sip my can of drink and make ASMR out of it. You know what I mean?
But I think,
But if you don't try it, how are you ever going to know?
So there's a lot that you kind of touched on there, and I want to try and pick up
I like touching on everything because I'm fat.
and handy.
I touch on every part of the shirt. You know what I mean? And the hands.
But so there's a few points there. The first one is obviously what your old man said to you, which is such sound advice in many instances. But there is a very small, again, because of the world we live in, caveat that I think has to go with it, which is by all means be unapologetically yourself, but understand you are a work in progress. Because there are so many people that think this is the way that I am, the world needs to accept me, and this, no, boo boo. That's not how the world works. That might be how you think the world works, or your little world works, but that's not everybody. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, and then the thing about the progress and everything else in terms of path progression, there's so much that wouldn't have even been possible on the outset. So now when you're looking at it, like it's the same kind of concept as we've got here. So like what the viewer sees compared to what we see is two completely different things. Like the viewer will never actually be able to perceive this room or this surrounding, or they won't see you from my point of view. They won't see me from your point of view. They just see at the minute one camera angle. There they are waffling away. But in time, when you add more cameras with yourself, when you add drones and this footage and that footage, you can build up a whole product that has a deeper understanding, deeper level of quality, and kind of encompasses you better. But it comes in time, but it don't come unless you start in the first place. And this is where the kind of kaleidoscope of life metaphor comes in that I always say. It's like a snake eating its own tail. Where it's like if once you start, you'll start improving. And once you start improving, you'll see how awful you was in the start, but you'll never get to that point unless you start. It's the same with the concept of 100 episodes. Like, I didn't think I'd know if I wanted to do the podcast or not until I got to 100 episodes. You've got to put in that kind of work to even find out if your dream's yours or if it's somebody else's. You've got to put in that work to find out if it's something that you want to take the time to improve on and this, that, and everything else. Like, so many people just think like, or again, it's portrayed as have a dream and go get it. Okay, but what about all the nitty gritty work in between? What about all the late nights, early mornings, failed attempts, and everything else that comes with it? Because it's not always going to be rosy. You're not always going to feel good. You're not always going to want to do the work. But the work's always going to need to get done.
That's very true.
It's mad. Like again, and this is all from our perspectives in life and that. But like, I've never had the opportunity for a gap year or to just take a beat in life. So for me to kind of, I suppose that's a kind of dream of mine at the minute, is to kind of be pursuing, taking a year of just, like, could you imagine not having to work for a whole year as an adult?
That'd be insane.
The amount I'd get done, the amount I'd learn about myself, simply just taking the rush out of day-to-day life. So you could be like, okay, cool. How do I want to wake up? How do I want to eat? Can I make food from scratch? This, that, and everything else. Like, so many parts of life. Like, I forget what the actual terminology is for it, but we basically inherit so much of our life habits. Like, when I think about how I'm now bringing up my daughter, although there is a lot of differences, there's also a lot of similarities in which how my mum brought me up. And it might be little things like looking forward to a Sunday dinner or expecting your kids to help out with chores so they have some understanding of work ethic and just little things like that, but things that I want to bring forward. But even still, like when I go shopping, most of the time I'm putting the same stuff in my trolley week in, week out. How much, again, just for my own experience, would it benefit me to vary that? To find different foods that I like, different drinks that I like, different ways that things work together, and just experience different things. But we get stuck in these ruts of life, whether they be inherited or just built up over time. And I think our dreams are one of those ruts.
I agree. I'm inclined to agree. I definitely can see why that makes sense. Like, but it's the other thing as well. I think we said it before. How many people out there actually have dreams? How many people actually have something
Yeah.
that they recognize as a dream goal in life?
But this is the thing. I think a lot of people probably do originally, but then they talk themselves out of it. Like they put up barrier after
Yeah.
barrier after barrier until it's basically, I'm doing myself a favor by not
Yeah.
pursuing this dream.
How many people think their dream's stupid?
Oh, tons.
How many people think their dream isn't big enough? Which is one of the most preposterous things to me. It
Mm,
doesn't matter how big or small your dream is.
mm.
That forgets the main thing here, right? What's the one thing a dream is? It's yours. It's individual. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter
I mean,
how big or small it is, bro. If you said to me, Joe, bro, a dream is to grow a rose bush, I'd be like, all right, bro, how you gonna do it? Doesn't matter that it's a small thing. That's your thing.
oh,
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
don't be put off of things because you think, oh, it's a very small thing. Ah,
See,
ah.
I think it's to build on what you're saying there. I find it it's hard to contextualize exactly what a dream is, but I would say if it's important to you, if it has significance to you, that's all that matters.
I think a dream for me is the ultimate ambition and the ultimate way that I wish to live my lifestyle.
See, I would hold back on, at least for myself, contextualizing it like that because dreams are always going to change.
I get you. I mean, I have a few of them, to be honest with you. I don't just have one.
What would you say is your biggest dream at the minute? Just out of curiosity.
My big dream alone.
Hmm.
Blowing up that tiki bar in the Caribbean island, bro.
Genuinely?
No.
Give me a genuine. What's
My genuine dream at the moment is to be successful in content creation so that I can literally work how I want to work and basically take that gap year.
okay? What does that look like to you?
It looks like waking up whenever I want at some point before 12 o'clock, probably playing golf about 3 times a week, actually spending time with my missus more than I do now, having my own place, actually having a team of people that help me edit and record and just collaborating with people and traveling around the UK and Europe.
Hmm.
Probably further afield down the line, but I'd start with those places.
I did have a thing when I see your handle on Instagram earlier on that obviously is Par Progression UK, and I was like,
And that's because someone has part progression.
and they should give it to Dave.
I don't know who they are.
Give it to
But at
Dave.
some point, I might be sliding into that DM.
But I did like the kind of aspect of having other co-creators out there in the world and then having Par Progression kind of again the word escapes me, but like reps basically like brand reps in different countries. So you could have Par Progression in Germany, and then you could have Par Progression in Sweden, and these different people that are kind of documenting their entry into golf and their journey through golf and things like that, and yeah, just kind of like enterprising like that and kind of building out your network that way. It was just literally how the kind of UK was tagged in the end, just made it pop into my head. But I mean, I do think that is a good dream for you to have. Like,
The thing about it is, I have a very vivid vision of what it looks like.
mm,
I can see what that traveling circus looks like because that's what it would be in a way. But I can very vividly picture myself in a different part of the UK or somewhere in Europe with my missus and her being able to work from home and us being able to chill, her doing her thing, her 9 to 5, me going out and hitting the golf course and doing my stuff in that time, and coming back and then going, oh yeah, been here before, you want to go get something to eat. Bye.
mm. And after a spot of technical difficulties, we are back on track, but probably not on the same track of conversation.
No, I think I was just saying, you said, what's my dream? And I was saying, I can vividly picture it, right?
Mm,
And I can picture traveling around and like having my missus come out with me because she can sort of remote work at times and being able to kind of simultaneously do 9 to 5s in different ways and then
mm.
being able to actually go and explore that place afterwards. That just encapsulates everything that I'd kind of want right now, bro. And I think that she would also want too. She can keep her career going. I can essentially live out my dream.
Mm.
No one misses out. No one loses out. You still maintain relationships, but also get to enjoy things together as well, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
There's that idea of that even for yourself, bro, if you got to that point, you could travel around with the pod.
Well, yeah, so that's the thing, and I don't know if this part got cut out or not. I'd have to find out in the review or whatever, but like that idea of a traveling pod, bro, how many people's perspective would I get then?
Exactly.
Driving up and down the country, like, hey, you want to chat? Like there is so many people that would be willing to talk if given the opportunity. And again, apologies if we're repeating any parts of these, but I don't know what's cut off and what's not, so shut up. But there's so much of like people's dreams that they just need somebody to open that door for them. And if the door's opened, they'll walk through. But unless somebody else kind of sets them up, they're not going to go for it. And it's a shame because so many people could have amazing dreams, amazing empires and this and that, but they never kind of see it out or see it through or whatever. And that's a shame. But when you're thinking about your own life, you can only think about your own responsibilities and your own dreams. So if it's, you gotta, like, bro, remember how awkward you was when you first started recording on camera and you was like, oh, these people are a hole behind me, so I don't want to record, da 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 da. You felt awkward pursuing your dreams. Although you wanted that dream, you still felt awkward in the get-go. Everybody's going to have that. It ties into what we're saying about doing things the hard way. You're going to feel uncomfortable in life.
I mean, I still do it at points when I'm on a golf course or whatever, but it's about how you manage it, right? That translates directly into pretty much everything you do. How are you going to manage awkwardness? How do you manage obstacles? How do you manage deterrence and people saying that you can't do it? Like, there's all sorts of things. Like, unless you learn and how to manage them, you're not going to be able to do anything anyway. And that's a big part of doing things to see what happens. Just use your brain. Be dynamic, right? Like, is that all security adage for us of dynamic risk assessment, right? That's not just in terms of threat, but that's for everything. I'm on a golf course. Oh, I can see this group behind me, and I'm taking time. Well, what am I going to do? I'm going to finish the hole, then I'm going to chill out for a bit and be like, "Hey, play on through," because I'll go after you because I'm holding things up. So I want you guys to go on through and do your thing. I'll take my. I've got all day anyways. You know what I mean?
I think that just ties into life, bro. Like, there are some people, to relate this to driving, that will pull onto a roundabout and block a whole bunch of other people going down their vein of traffic. These are ignorant, arrogant people that if they was in Dave's shoes there, they wouldn't get out of the way and let somebody else play through. They'd be like, I'm recording, stuff ya. But we don't want to live in that world. We don't want to, like, those people need the biggest, dirtiest backhand that I can muster or anybody. No, my hands ain't big enough. What is it? Is it Mark Felix? The freaking strong man with like 14-inch freaking handspan? Him. We need him to be slapping people upside the face to do that. There are some people that are just willing to inconvenience other people in life. They're the people that we need to shun out of society. Like, we need to, what is it? Cersei Lannister, shame them down the streets.
He's come out with 2 references that are just golden off the bat. I love it.
Oh, bro. It's been jarring me a while, bro. These types of people on the road.
It's just closed-mindedness, isn't it? And like, you know, that causes a lot of problems in the world in general. And I think more people need to be open-minded. And the more of us that are open-minded, the better the world will actually be.
But I think the two kind of tie into the same, because like if you're pursuing your dreams, you're fairly happy, even if things are rough and things are like hard and this, that, and everything else. You're like, cool, I'm on my grind. So if you see somebody else on their grind, you're like, cool, we're both in this together, kind of thing. Whereas if you're one of those people that are just stuck suffering and trying to survive life, you just want to spew venom, and it's just like, well, yeah, I'm unhappy, so yeah, I've got to sit in traffic. You sit in traffic, just like, dude. Wait one car to pull out and allow people to. It really bugs me. The roads are really London driving. Oh my days! I like there is a lot of the world that like driving is ridiculous in, but London has to be up there. Like what was we looking at? I was looking at something the other day. Like was it populations? Yeah, it was populations or whatever else. But like I reckon if you could rate countries by their level of driving ability. London's going to be friggin' right at the bottom of that list. Just a bunch of awful,
we're not
drivers.
country, so.
I mean, this part of the country.
I mean, in terms of driving ability, 100%.
I get that London ain't a country, but ain't there some nonsense with London? The city of London itself isn't the same as the UK, isn't it? This may be something we have to Google to actually get to.
UK, bro.
I know physically it is, but I'm sure at some point of like Parliament or whatever else, there is a certain rule around the city of London and Greater London being two separate entities.
Yes, they are.
Not
It's
just
still
in
part
the
of London, though, but yeah.
no, not just in the sense of borough that you seem to be like kind of degradingly looking at me and looking down your nose at me physically.
Yeah, I am, mate. But go on.
But I'm sure, I don't know whether it's to do with the finance side of things or whatever else, but there is a slight difference in what London is compared to England itself. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I've seen some nonsense about it.
Pause.
Anyway, should we wrap this bad boy up
Please, before I have an aneurysm.
for the second time? The seed for this episode is going to be, if you have a dream, pursue it. No matter how insignificant it may be to you or how out of reach it may feel. Start, because you're going to learn so much by starting. You're going to learn if it's achievable. You're going to learn all of the things behind it. You're going to learn if you was putting it on a pedestal and if it's actually worth building it up to that ridiculous feat that you thought it was in your mind. You're going to find things that you enjoy along the way. You're going to meet people that you enjoy spending time with and things that you enjoy doing. There is so much more to be gained from trying than there is from sitting in the fear of failure. So just damn try. Like, what do you have to lose? If you're unhappy with life, if you're not pursuing your dreams currently, seriously, what do you have to lose by trying? All the best, and we'll catch you on the next one.